he's had a hell of a career, and him being able to find himself in a place that feels like home to him, and playing as well as he has, particularly late in this year, him getting hot and doing what he's done. It's been fun to watch, and I'm a fan of his.
Aren't your paths similar, kind of? I mean, you both had to leave other teams and find new life and a new career.
Yeah, similar.
Thanks, Jared.
Sure. Somewhat similar career arcs for those two quarterbacks. Let's get into them. Better story, Baker Mayfield, Jason, or Jared Goff?
They both are similar. They're number 1 overall picks. They're not on the original team that drafted them. Baker Mayfield's journey, though, a little bit different, a little bit more twists and turns. Baker's been on 4 different teams. Jared Goff was obviously drafted by the Rams. He's now on the Lions. But this is Baker, first overall pick, Cleveland Browns. We know exactly what it kind of looked like when he was there. Won a playoff game, had success there. Goes to the Panthers, traded. We're thinking he's going to take off. Doesn't happen. Eventually plays for the Rams in that same season. An amazing game. Beats the Raiders, and now we're getting the experience on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he's already won a playoff game already. This had me thinking, like, you want to go back in history and learn about some of the guys that have played before. I'm like, how many first overall picks have played for 4 different teams? Okay. And there have been 6. 2 of them have found success and in the playoffs. Peter, can you name 2 quarterbacks on their 4th team, first overall picks, that have played in a playoff game?
I think I got one.
That is a really specific vacuum.
First overall
I think I got
picks.
one.
Vinny Testaverde?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, that's my pick. Okay, but I don't know the other guys.
I think I have one.
Who you got?
Jeff George.
Roll the footage, please. Give me some
George
Vinny Testaverde.
Let's
look at him. This is 1998. Peter, feel free to jump in wherever you
Jericho?
want. He takes
that's long
off for
before
Glenn
Jericho.
Foley in this season. And this is his first year with the Jets. He takes them to the playoffs.
That's Keith Byers.
There you go. I absolutely love it. They go on, they beat the Jaguars early in the first game. Then they end up losing in the AFC Championship game.
They were up at the half of this game,
Broncos.
and this was after the Falcons had just beaten the Vikings. Like, Jets fans were going nuts. And then you got this guy, too?
Yeah, I got some Jeff George.
Let's go.
This is him with the Vikings.
Oh, my
And he goes on, he wins the wild card. He beats the Dallas Cowboys in the wild card. Then he goes on to take on, you guys know, the Rams, who eventually won the Super Bowl that year. Jeff George threw for over 400 yards in this game. The only issue, and 4 touchdowns, was Kurt Warner threw for 391, 5 touchdowns, and they ended up winning the game. So Baker Mayfield had me getting nostalgic and going back in history and learning. I felt like Schrags, but I mean, he doesn't have to go back and just off the top of his head. Impressed by you guys knowing those 2 guys.
Yeah,
I didn't prep them, didn't tell them, and you guys hit it.
Thanks, bud. I feel
Love
good
it.
about that.
What's that? It's like the you and me.
Yeah.
Son of a...
Dap it up, baby.
Maybe Paul Rudd and Sean Evans just look at us. I feel pretty good right now.
You just phoned a friend, like on the other side of the
That
table.
could be the halftime. Goff and Baker in the middle of a shootout. Just look at us. Like, we're here. I think I have to also go back in time a little bit just to put us back at like just how big a deal Baker Mayfield was in the league. God, like, Baker Mayfield was a sensation. First overall pick, ton of hype. Browns had been terrible for the last decade. They put Baker Mayfield into the game on a Thursday night game against the Jets with the entire country watching. I'm going to go to the play that everyone was like, oh, my God, there's magic here. Here's Thursday Night Football, Baker Mayfield's rookie year. Remember this.
Mayfield is in a pistol formation right now, and now he's running away from center, and the snap goes to Duke Johnson. Then they flip it around, then they throw it, and Mayfield caught it! It's the Philly special, Cleveland style, David Njoku! I love it! And we're tied at 14.
The Browns had been on this incredible losing streak. Baker breaks it. I remember Joe Thomas was working for the network at the time. He's chugging beers. It was a sensation. And then Baker was really good that whole year. Guys, NFL 100 was that season. It was the 100th year of the NFL.
Where'd they drop him?
They did it was all time. Okay. And they did a commercial, and it was only the all-time greats. And it was Barry Sanders, and you had, of course, name it. You had all these guys. They flew up secretly, Baker Mayfield, to Boston during the season to film with Tom Brady. Peter Berg was there. It was like, yeah, and no one shrugged their shoulders. They were like, yeah, of course, Baker Mayfield and Tom Brady in the NFL's 100. And then
he held Brady's ring.
He held Brady's ring, and that was the choice. And it wasn't even a doubt. It was like, Baker's the guy. Of course, Baker's the guy. It's a sensation. Huge personality. And then, as you know, as you went through the things, like, he has to go on this route where he goes from there to being kind of like pushed out of Cleveland and everyone saying he's the problem, and then they goes from there to this Carolina to the Rams, and then now we're finally here. And Baker's kind of almost back on top. He's in the final 8. This is like, you want to talk about not New Jersey, a Baker Mayfield Panther jersey. Like,
Why do I feel this one's stranger than the Rams one?
because the Rams one was a quick sensation. He won the game against the Raiders on Thursday night. He won the Christmas Day against the Broncos. It was like, awesome, Baker's back. And he went into free agency. It was like, he's going to sign with the team and compete.
How about him wearing 17 that eventually went to Puka now?
And Puka wears it now. That's a great
so
call.
weird.
But that's the thing. That was less than a year ago. It's so random that now we're here, and then here we are. So I love Baker's story. I think you talk about a guy who's been through a lot in just 5 years in the league. Baker Mayfield, I think he's overcome a ton already, and here he is in the final 8.
Goff's story is really good too. I think the disadvantage in this argument is that, like, Goff turned the page on a lot of his story last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got the win over the Rams, and he beat McVay, and he beat Stafford. Now, he does kind of have a score to settle with the Super Bowl, Jason. As we know, you were there. Like, he played very poorly in the Super Bowl and lost. So we'll get to that in a few weeks. I still think it's Baker. The difference is, and the reason Baker's is better than Goff's, is that Baker was like a step away from being out of football. Like, Jared Goff was never, he's always going to have a job for years, he's going to back up at least. But I remember listening to radio shows and being like, Baker would be good in a college football booth. He should work for Fox, and like, he'd be great calling college football. And it was kind of like, yeah, he might be right. And now here he is in the divisional round. But I have to correct the wrong from yesterday. I was trying to give Baker hype, and I was like, do you know what club he just entered? Baker just entered the quarterbacks who've won playoff games with 2 teams' clubs. And it's a really exclusive club. And there's Manning and Brady and, it's Baker. And that's really pretty much it. I think maybe there's like 5 or 6. There's a lot more than that.
I went Jeff Garcia. I think he's on the list.
You want to see the club?
Let's see the
We
club.
got the whole damn club.
Everyone allowed in this club?
We
Those are
can't
so
even
cool.
fit them on the. Look at these are all the guys.
Okay.
That's a lot.
All right, so you go back to Norm Van Brocklin, Kerry. What jumps out to you, Jason?
Kyle Rote.
That's right. Jason, what do you
We got
got?
Doug Williams on there, Hostetler. I love it.
Jamie?
I love that Van Brocklin at the bottom right.
It's fantastic. They didn't even have face masks. I didn't. Favre. Brad Johnson won with Washington. Trent Dilfer won
Gary
with
Collins,
Tampa.
Tennessee.
Collins won one
Yes.
with it's just they're all, Carolina. He won one with Kerry Collins won one with Carolina, not even Tennessee.
Carolina and the Giants.
Lost that one.
So what I'm saying is,
one
like,
seed, right?
it's not quite as exclusive as a club as I thought it was going to be, but it's still a fantastic club. I'm a big Baker guy. Campbell this week was talking about Dan Campbell was talking about Baker Mayfield, and he was like, "Oh, I love Baker, man!" Like, right, he's got a hat on, literally says "Grit," talking about Baker, and he tells the story of going to Mark Andrews' pro day, and Baker showed up in flip-flops to throw, and he tells the story how Baker threw for him, he threw for all the players coming out of OU that year, and this is a guy trying to go #1 overall who has all these workouts, and he was like, "That's my kind of guy, man." So I think there's a love and admiration. Goff's story is good. The Baker story is unbelievable.